Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's taken along wonderfully and is doing just dandy. If you're in the UK, I hope you're enjoying the little bit of summer-ish, spring, late spring, summer weather that we're having. I'm not a huge fan of summer at all. I feel like my brain just melts during the summer, and it makes sleep difficult as well because if I'm too hot, I can't sleep. So that really does have a knock-on effect for everything in my life. So as much as I like to enjoy the beautiful colors and the full blooms and the full trees and the visual beauty of just summer, I don't like it to be around for too long. And I know a lot of people are going to be cursing me for that, but yeah, I'm very much fall is my favorite. So I'm like just counting down the days to spooky season and basically September 1st, really, um, between now and then. So yeah, but I do like to have all four seasons. This is the weird thing. I do like to have all four seasons. I like the variety. I couldn't just have pure sun or just pure wetness all the time. And it needs to be a good mix, a good variety. But enough of me rambling about the weather, typical Brit. I want to talk to you guys about something I've been playing around with and toying around with. I kind of mentioned it in the last episode, but now I can show you a little bit more. And that is the fact I needed another special interest commonplace book. Now, I have my Halloween one that I think was actually the first episode of the Commonplace Archives, where I showed you how I was setting this up. Oops. And, you know, this is purely for Halloween in my research into how Halloween started, the folklore about it, and, you know, and then I'm going to talk about horror films that I really enjoy and sort of review those. And this is obviously very themed towards Halloween. The commonplace book that I want to go into now will be in a different format from a book. Hint, hint. But the theme, or sort of like the special interest of it, is very much forests, which is quite loose because it can be rainforests or woodland forests. Basically anything with a lot of trees. That's what I'm going for. Forest follies, the architecture of follies, and the crazy stories behind follies, and then folklore as well. So I've called it the free foes because it's forests, follies, folklore. Volume 1. Now, obviously, this is very much a different format to a book, either an Archer and Olive notebook or my Hobonichi book, and it is also bigger. Let me show you how much bigger. In fact, no, my old Hobonichi's there. So this is the A5 AVAC. So you can see how much bigger this is. Now, with this ring binder, which is a 9-ring binder, it is supposed to be for B5, but when you break this down, so I had the sticker sheet. These stickers, by the way, are lovely stickers from Untitled Paintings and Megan Rhiannon. I've just printed them on some clear glossy stuff. I'm going to use them a bit later, which is why it's there, and just for reference of an A4 sheet. Yeah, so it is basically the same width as an A4, but it's just a little bit higher than A4. Lower than A4, I should say. But I really like how the books go right up to the edge. And there's no overhang like there is on these. Because really, what do you need the overhang for? I mean, it's kind of pointless because even when you're using it, yes, your hand rests on it. But aside from that, you know, you don't really use it. It's that I think that's been one of the beefs of having Filofaxes, I've just always thought that there's too much bulk for no function, if that makes sense, other than perhaps, you know, maybe you've got card slots or this, that, and the other. But with this being a ring binder, there's no need for it. So I'm kind of wanting to cut this down to B5 page size. The page size, by the way, is 250 millimeters height, and then 175 millimeters width as well, and that's for the rings as well. And so yeah, I want to cut this binder down to size. Now, one of the reasons why I want to cut it down to size is so it can fit on my shelf better. But I think because of the way these clips are, you know, you've got these bits that help you open the rings. I think they're going to stick out a little bit. And this binder was only a few quid, so this is basically going to be my little experiment, because this is thick, rigid plastic as well, so it's not going to be easy to cut, but we're going to have a go at that and see how we go. So yeah, I'll do that in a moment. I'm going to probably either do it continuously scoring with a craft knife, but I think on these bits I can actually use my guillotine, because I've got quite a powerful guillotine, so I can do that. But yeah, let's just have a little discussion about sort of how this is developed. I want to add a little bit more to that, and I kind of want to do that with some print on stickers and then print over the top and see if that works. The paper that I'm using is the Tomorrow paper that I bought, that you saw me buy in the last episode, and it is just literally the A4 cream paper, and it's just cut down to size. And then it prints beautifully. I'll try and show you in a second. So I think I showed you the mock-up first. This is what I did by hand, just to sort of get an idea of how many squares I can fit on the page and how the rings are going to work. Now this is on the Tomorrow paper as well. That one wasn't. And then I was just testing out all the pens that I have that I love, and then trying to work out what font I wanted to go with, in terms of what's going to look good on the grids. And then this is obviously me having my first digital mock-up of the grid in my own little styling. Yeah. Then I realised that actually the holes that I'd done for the rings were too far across. So I moved them back a bit because I didn't have the hole punch at the time. This is the hole punch I got, by the way. I'll leave a link in the description on Amazon where I got this from. So if you want to go get yourself one, it does the 9-ring holes. And they've got different paper sizes. So they've got B6, B5, Desfax, A5, A6. So, you know, you can do all of those with that. And then, of course, A4 as well. So I realised that with those holes being that further forward, I could actually get more squares on the space. So I've got more real estate, basically. So that's me working out the grids. Then I realised that if I printed it on an A3 sheet of paper, I could then have this as like for maps or something else that, you know, needs to be quite big rather than on single sheets. And then this is the fourth mock-up, which is me adding some detailing, some design to the margin in how I want this to be more set up to me. This is just on white printer paper. This is me sort of going a bit further with the design, but then realizing that there's some issues with, if you print like double-sided, it sort of misaligns and also shrinks the image a little bit for some bizarre reason when you're printing. Because I was printing, then cutting them down to size. But then I had the bright sparks of cutting the paper first and then setting the printer to the measurements of the paper. And that seems to have solved that issue. So that was just on printer paper. And then this is on the Tomorrow paper. But I've got to remember when I'm double-sided printing to flip the, not flip, is to swizzle the paper around. But then this is something of what I was going for. Now I keep toying back and forth with the design because yes, I wanted something a little bit more in my own style and just sort of break away from the grid a little bit and have a little bit of organicness, a little bit of flair, a little curve into it. But I'm now thinking, if I'm going to add design to it, why keep it so minimalist? Let's, you know, go full throttle with it. So this design I think is going to change, but I do like the simplicity of it. The other thing as well I've realized is if I print directly from Photoshop, it dulls the colors a little bit. So I think the printer profiles in the Photoshop doesn't quite match up, but if I save it as a JPEG and then just print it as an image, it's fine. So that's more true to the colors it should be, because I want it to go for like a sepia sort of color rather than black or gray. So yeah. Yeah, that's the other design as well, just keeping it a little bit more simple and just having one or two flares. But I kind of want to add more detailing to this of something or other, and also make it a little bit more faint as well. So yeah, that's what I got up to. This is just some old typewriter blotting paper that I've been experimenting with, and also I test prints now on there, so I'm not wasting the Tomorrow paper. This is the Clairefontaine paint on paper, the green grey that I was going to use for a cover, but I kind of like just having Tomorrow paper there anyway. So yeah, that's that. So going forward, in terms of the grid, I am happy with. I mean, I've deleted some of the grid there in that corner just to continue with the design, which I kind of like, and I've done it there as well. So this design might develop, and I'll keep you guys obviously informed about that. Because even as I'm speaking now, I'm having so many ideas of like what I would like to do with it, but at the same time, I don't want to go too crazy with it, because yes, once I've got the template done, I can print hundreds of sheets. You don't even have to think about it. But at the end of the day is I need space for my commonplacing, whether it be copied text or thoughts or whatever. And then I need my margin space to put images or notes or this, that, and the other, which I'm kind of doing here, as you can see. So it doesn't need to be too crazy, but at the same time, you know, I want to play. I want to experiment a little bit more. So yeah. My other thought as well is I'm going to sort of like put a pack together, like a digital download pack. So if anybody's interested in B5 Hobonichi sort of style layouts that I do, I'm going to put it together. I'm going to do one where it's just sort of where it's just the grids, i.e. there's no decorative detailing on it. I'll put it all in the same pack. So you can either choose to use my nice stylistic, hopefully beautiful and wonderful stylized pages, or you can just keep the grid just quite plain. But obviously this will be B5. And I'm going to put like a pack together, so like a commonplace pack, so it won't be like a planner pack where you get the monthlies, the weeklies, and all that malarkey. I think I might do it a later date, because I'm again working on something else as well. Hint, hint. So we'll see how that goes. But I want to do a commonplace pack, so there'll be definitely like an index page. Obviously the basic layouts. I'm kind of thinking about doing like a glossary or vocabulary page, because that's something I'm interested in, because when I'm looking through articles and things, I'm discovering more words. So I know that might be useful for some other people as well. So I'm going to think of a few layouts that I think are relevant to commonplacing and research and that sort of thing, and then put them together and hopefully have a nice little pack for you guys. I'll pop that on my Patreon shop when that's ready to go. I'm nowhere near ready yet, because as I said, I want to develop this design a little bit more, and then once I'm happy with it, I'll then put, you know, more pages together if you've got any recommendations or thoughts that, you know, you'd like to see a page layout that's dedicated to this, that, and the other, by all means, please leave me a comment below and I'll see if I can come up with something for you guys as quickly as I can. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is my little special interest book, the Free Foes. I'm gonna go and try and cut this, so this is either gonna go horribly wrong and you guys will know not to do it yourselves, or the other thing I was doing, if it does go horribly wrong, I could always buy these separately and then make my own covers out of cardboard, or even get some of this plastic and then cut it myself. I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. But yeah, I love the versatility of this, because I'm already thinking I can put watercolor paper in here, put some holes in it, whack it in. So if I want to draw or paint something that I've seen, I can do, or any other type of thing. I just love the versatility of just being able to put anything that's related to my subject in here without being confined to a book. So that's why I've not used one of the day free Hobonichis, because I wanted to be able to mess around, and plus I want to have something that's bigger, because where did I work it out? I worked out the page. Yeah, so on B5 they will be 60. This is the B5, the bigger size, and there'll be 68 boxes going down and 44 going across. Whereas on the on the A5, typically there's 46 going down and 36 pages. Let's see if I can try and just show you. So again, that's the size, kind of. Can you see that? So you've got this extra bit here and then quite a bit up there, which I know doesn't seem a lot, but with the Hobonichis, you're missing this and also this. So you've got the entire page as well of just grid space. So, you know, it's a lot more versatility. And then obviously the hidden margin as well, or the decorative margin when I've done with it. So yeah, there is quite a lot more space, which is kind of what I wanted, because I find that when I'm writing about stuff, I'm having to use 2 daily pages. So yeah, I just wanted to try something much bigger. And plus, I just like B5. It's not A4, it's not A5. It's just in between. I like to be awkward. What can I say? So yeah, if anyone's interested in that, that is definitely coming. The only thing that I've bought for this little experiment is this binder, which was £4.49. Again, I'll leave a link in the description, Amazon link if you need that, and then this as well. But I was going to buy this anyway because of a sketchbook idea that I've got, so this is dual purpose in many ways. So yeah, let's have a little play with cutting this, hopefully to size, and then also I'm going to mess with some print on stickers and then print over the top as well to try and sort of like make another cover page. Okay, so this was actually a lot easier to cut than I thought it was going to be. I used the guillotine on this bit, which I kind of wish I didn't, because it slipped a little bit, so it's not quite as straight as what it should be. So I should have just done it by hand, but I didn't realize how easy it was going to cut. So the top ones I did by a hand, and I've only cut this little bit off, so it's not too bad. Yes, these overhang, but as you can see, only just a little bit. So let's see what it looks like with the inserts. It's all gonna go in one. Come on, you know you want to fit. Yep, there we go. So yep, so far so good. Obviously some of these papers are actually still squared off. I always like to have the round. I just think it preserves paper so much better. But I am actually very happy with that. and how much it fits. It feels like more like a book now rather than a binder. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I am going to sand the edges a little bit because they are just a little bit sharp, but I'll do it with a very fine grit sander, just by hand. Probably put the sandpaper on the desk and then do it that way so I get a nice flat edge. But yeah, and then I curved off the corners just using scissors because, as I said, it's so easy to cut. And then cut the bits off the ends as well. So there's the overhang showing just a little bit. But the proof will be, does it fit on my shelf? That's why we were doing this. Does it? Oh yes it does, with a couple of millimeters to spare. And it fits in there. Oh, that is just satisfying, the fact that it fits there. And now I can make stickers to go along the binding. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I am very happy with that. I actually like that there's those overhangs because it makes it easy for me to pull out. Is it wrong that I kind of want all of them to match now? Oh boy. So yeah, so now I've got a choice. I can either buy these individually if I can, and can we get them in different colors? Like, is there a gold? Oh, is there a copper? Or a bronze? Oh, that's another Google search I'll be doing, getting lost down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I think, yeah, if I find copper ones, then I will definitely be buying some polypropylene. I can never say it, but this is basically what the plastic's called. It's not Perspex because it's more flexible than Perspex. Perspex will crack and break. And it's not silicone or PVC because it's got more rigidity. And I think you get polypropylene in different thicknesses as well, so I can mess with that as well. So yeah, that's going to be an internet search to play with, but I am very, very, very happy with this. The only thing I think I might invest in the future is a proper paper punch, because the only one I have is this one to do the corners. But if I get a proper one that I've kind of been toying with getting anyway, but that's a different thing for a different day. But yes, I am very happy with that indeedio. Yeah, it just feels so much more like a book, like it should do. The other thing I forgot to mention was, yes, this is the Tomorrow paper, the exact same that's in Hobonichi's. However, someone was mentioning to me as I was cutting the binder up, was now staring at me intently, isn't it going to rip because it's so thin paper? Now, if this was a 2-ring binder, I would definitely say yes, but the fact that it's a 9-ring binder, I think it gives it so much more strength. Obviously, if you rip it, you're going to do that, but you'd do that with normal paper anyway. So my answer to that is no, with the 9 rings. And I don't know why, but I find the 9 rings so satisfying. They just look so much more even than 2. I don't know why. It just does, like, yeah, 3 is better than 2. As always, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And let me know about any of the layouts that you'd want me to do in the commonplace. I'll be more than happy to try and do what you guys would like, what you'd like to see. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.